Hey, so I've been planning this live for a while, and it's actually based off of a post that I did on both LinkedIn and on Instagram. That on those platforms got a lot of activity, a lot of actions, a lot of comments. So I figured let's do a live about this one. So, as you guys are jumping on live on Facebook, feel free to go ahead and say hello and share where you're coming in from. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments here or on the replay. So the topic of this live stream is 3 key reasons why every time you try to make an impact, you fail. And it's for those of you who are in corporate and who are trying to leave an impact on the collective corporate culture or on your family lineage and legacy. It's also for those of you who are here live or on the replay who are entrepreneurs and who are, looking to make your mark, your impact on the world. And it goes without saying, but all of my work is for those of you who already have a spiritual orientation, a spiritual inclination. So my name is Asherah. A lot of you guys know me. What you might not know is I've recently gone through a business pivot, and I'm moving much more towards helping spiritually oriented founders, leaders, and CEOs deepen their impact, leadership, and legacy in dual roles as both a business oracle and a spiritual mentor. I'm happy to unpack that and explain what that means at some other time. A lot of you already know me from the transformational space, the psychology space, the trauma resolution space, the women's empowerment space. And this live stream, this video is for you if you are a founder or a leader, an executive or a CEO, or even an entrepreneur who already has a solid business, who is looking to deepen your impact in the world or in company culture. But every time you try to make that impact, something happens and it doesn't grip, it doesn't take. It's as if you fail. So what we're doing today is we're unpacking the 3 key reasons why every time you try to make an impact, you fail. And then we're going to be exploring a little bit of what to do about it. That's not really something that can necessarily be fixed in one video, but we'll be exploring a little bit about what to do about it. And I'll be sharing one way in today's class, one way in which you can move forwards with me in this work if you so choose. So if you're jumping on live, say hello. If you have questions on the replay, pop them in the comments. So take a deep breath. Get settled, get oriented, land here, ground in. So here's what's going on with you. You're desiring to leave a larger impact in company culture or in your work as an entrepreneur for those that come after, you, and or a footprint on your family's lineage. Yet many times that you try to make a larger impact, you fail. And I don't even like the word fail, but it's like it doesn't grip, it doesn't take, the thing just doesn't happen. So here's the 3 things that are going on. Here are the 3 reasons. Let's jump into the 3 reasons, and then we'll take it from there. So the first reason that this happens is that you're saying what you're supposed to say in these situations, business situations, personal situations, rather than what you want to say. You're saying what you feel like you're supposed to say, rather than what you truly want to say. And this can show up in communications across the board, from communications with your team, as well as your family line, as well as in, if you're an entrepreneur, your marketing. As a result of this, other people don't know what you really mean, and the result, the output, what happens at the end of this is off base from your true desires. And there's a couple of different ways that saying what you're supposed to say rather than what you want to say shows up. It's not just one thing. It's not just the thing you would think it is. So in terms of the ways this shows up, it shows up in people pleasing, like being a good girl or a nice boy. You know, that's like playing nice, saying what you think other people want to hear, toning down your truth, hiding your power, not speaking your mind. The good girl, nice boy syndrome is one way that this shows up. The other way that this shows up is instead of being too nice, you withhold praise for others or affection. So even if you have appreciation for your team or whatever, you hold back. You don't voice your love. You don't voice your appreciation. You don't voice your affection for others that you engage with. Even if you want to voice those things, and part of this is because of the corporate facade. What we're taught about what professionals do. Professionals hold the boundary. Professionals don't say I love you. All those things. And although these are two separate things, they both stem from a fear of being seen. They both stem from a fear of being vulnerable. They both stem from a fear of expressing yourself as you are. It's just that this fear of vulnerability takes two separate forms. In one case, it's a fear of your power. In the first case, the people-pleasing sense, you're afraid of your power. Who am I to play so big? Who am I to take up so much space? Who am I to be so bold? Who am I to be so loud? And in the second case, the case of withholding affection, praise, love, heartfulness, it's a fear of tenderness and a fear of intimacy and a fear of getting too close to others. As a result of both of these, others receive what you say or do and not what you truly want to say or do. And the impact or the results are very, very different than what you imagined. So that's the first key reason why every time you try to make an impact, you fail. Okay, the second one is this. The second reason is something that a lot of us are familiar with. You try too hard. Let me know if you relate to this one. You try too hard. Success is your middle name, and you are married to it. That's in my notes, guys. Success is your middle name, and you are married to it. As a result, you might push, hustle, force, or even micromanage people. And this can show up in your family system. This can show up in your team at work. This can even show up with prospects in the entrepreneurial space. And this inevitably backfires with collapse in communications, drama, and burnout. Now what causes this, right? Well, there's a lot of things that cause this one. The first thing that causes this is hustle culture / corporate culture. If one action takes you one step, 10,000 actions might take you all the way there. And of course, there's an aspect of this in pockets of the transformational space too, like, business coaches saying just cold DM 100 people a day. The other thing that causes this is this. As children, if you try to do something and it doesn't work, what are we taught? We're taught try harder. We're not taught, try from a more aligned space. No, we're not taught try deeper, try from a deeper space. We're taught try harder. So the other space that this comes from is cultural conditioning, childhood, programming, in our families of origin to just push harder, to just try harder. And what this gets down to is that impact. Yes, hard work is a part of having the impact, absolutely. But it doesn't come from just hustling or just hard work. It comes from an aligned touch. Because when you push too hard, it results in burnout and then declining impact. And when you push others too hard, people feel micromanaged and it backfires. Either they avoid you or they run away, or emotional drama results. So that's the second one. Hey, Angelica's here. Hi, honey. I look incredible. Thank you. I was so caught up in sharing. I didn't see Angelica. Thank you, lovely. Can I pin that? I appreciate that. There's been a lot of transformation, Angelica, and it is fabulous to see you live here, honey. Thank you for being here. If you have questions, pop them in as I go. So, I had notes and I lost the trajectory, but that's great. I love that comment. So, yeah, so we just did the second one, which is the trying too hard and the hustle culture. And, I'm going to say something about the coaching industry because I'm doing this on Facebook this week. So the coaching industry, pockets of it exacerbate it. If you're not getting the results, just try harder, just DM 100 people. What happens when you DM 100 people? You're like, fuck it, I hate my business, I don't want to work, I don't want to live, fuck this shit. And that's not how it happens. The impact comes from the aligned action. I might actually share a quick story about myself here to flesh this out a bit, about the alignment piece with action. It's not business related, but I'll jump in and I'll share it while we're on this point. Years ago, I actually was homeless, and I'm not going to get too far down that rabbit hole, but I was homeless, and I had been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and forcing and forcing and forcing and forcing and hustling to get out of it, and putting all the attention on my business. And then one day it dawned on me that pushing harder against my business was not moving the brick of getting out of homelessness. And I realized in that moment for me that the aligned action was invoking love. So I meditated, I stopped pushing, I paused, I meditated, I spoke to God. I said, what is the aligned action that will make the impact here? And I literally heard invoke love, do an invocation for love. And there's more to the story than this, but I'm keeping it brief for this video. So I meditated, I got instructions. I received the instructions. I did maybe a half-hour meditation, a half-hour invocation that was really precise. Lo and behold, I called in something that wound up being like $200,000. Not all at once, dispersed over years. But putting down the hustle, listening to God, finding his directions and following them was the thing that made a tremendous impact in my own life, both getting me out of homelessness, creating a new relationship, and across a period of time, bringing multiple six figures into my world. So that's the very, very short form of how this plays out, of how stepping out of the hustle and feeling for the alignment creates the impact. So I'm going to see if there's questions on point 2. So point number 3 of this, the third reason why every time you try to make an impact, you fail. And if there's other questions or other comments, I'm not seeing them. I'm on my laptop and I saw Angelica's pop up. I'm not seeing anything else. If I miss it for some reason, pop it in on the replay and tag me. The third point here is, where are we? I do have notes. Where are we? Okay. The third point here is neglecting your gut instincts. The third reason you're not making the impact you desire is you're neglecting your gut instincts. At core moments in your process, whether that process is what's the next level in my business, that process is what's the next level at my job, the process is What's my next level of legacy level impact in the world? At all of these core moments in your process, you have a gut instinct to change course or course correct. But at those moments, it's as if an invisible hand pulls you back. And when you go off course like this and lose connection to your instincts as well as self-trust, it dramatically slows down your timeline. Now, this reason relates to number 2 deeply. It's very much about the cultural foundations and corporate culture, and even some entrepreneurial spaces of hustle, but it's the deeper thing underneath the hustle. And the deeper thing underneath hustle culture is the programming of don't trust your emotions, don't trust your instincts, and don't trust your body. And that's so good. I'm going to say that one again. The deeper thing under hustle culture is the programming of don't trust your emotions, don't trust your instincts, and don't trust your body. And then this shows up for you like an invisible hand pulling you back. It's like corporate trying to put you back into protocol, into like some protocol. This is how we do this in here. This is the business way. Corporate trying to put you back into protocol against your own internal knowing. Or indoctrination from the coaching space, right? That you have to cold DM 100 people a day or chase down people with 16,000 free discovery calls. Even when your instincts are saying, fuck no, right? Fuck to the no to all of that. And what happens when you continue to ignore your instincts, when you continue to neglect them, it slows down the timeline. It just shuts off everything, basically. I totally lost my thread there because I was laughing at the content. I'm going to see if there's any other comments popping up. Okay. So, yeah. So the third one that we were talking about is the invisible hand pulling you back and neglecting your gut instincts. Okay. And obviously, if you were to access and follow through on your gut instincts, which can show up as a knowing or which can show up in your body, they show up as like a cognitive mental knowing for some of you guys, and for some of you guys, it will show up in your physical body. That's where the much larger impact happens. That's where the much larger impact happens with far more ease. So I want to speak to 2 ways that you and I can address all of this. The first is how to move forwards with me in this work. And then after I mention that, we're going to be doing a brief exercise together to begin to change this and fix this right now on this video. So stay put with me to begin to shift this in this now. And I'm going to take another pause and see if anyone else is popping up on the feed. Okay. I'm not seeing anyone besides Angelica. Okay. So the first thing is this. If you'd like to move forwards and create a larger impact in the world, a legacy level impact, either in your own body of work or within corporate, or for some of you, even within your family system, I'm offering spiritual integration strategy sessions. And there might be a link in the comments right now. I tried to set that up on Facebook, but if not, I will make sure that there's a link in the comments so that you guys can do that after this live stream. What these are a sacred scavenger hunt for fragmented parts of your spirit, and we're finding out what is missing on the inside that you actually require for your next level of leadership, legacy, and impact on the outside. So it's you and I literally going on a journey to find out what's out of whack, what's misaligned, what's missing inside of you, fixing that, addressing that, dealing with that, and then watching the next levels of impact just pop into place on the outside. Yes, you will have to take actions for that to happen after our call. No, you will not have to take 5 million actions. You will not have to hustle. You will just need to take like the 2 or 3 key actions. During this call, we'll map out exactly what is going on and strategize our next steps. And you leave with a blueprint of exactly what to do. And that can be on your own if you want to. You don't necessarily need me after this call. Or it can be inside a mentorship, a higher level mentoring container. And that's for a private 90-minute call plus a Zoom recording. And there might be a link for that in the comments right now. But if not, I will make sure that there is one there after this live stream. Also, if you're on my email list, you will be receiving an email about this too. So if you want to be added to my email list at any time, just go to asheraheden.com. It's just my name.com, and you can opt in for the list. Okay. So let's go back. Now that I mentioned how you can continue this with me, let's go back to that last point about neglecting gut instincts and the sensation of an invisible hand pulling you back. And let's do a brief journey into your body right now and into your gut instincts to help put you back in touch and to speed up your impact and your timeline and to start to do like a tiny little micro fix on this situation. So whether you're here live or on the replay, I invite you to take a moment, to take a pause, and to ground into your body and to ground into your breath. And if you're sitting in a chair, feel your body on the chair. If you're lying down, feel your body lying down. If you're standing up, feel your body standing up, but feel yourself in your body, feel your breath, and deepen your breath. And just take 3 deep breaths. Okay, so now go on and tune into a recent or upcoming, a recent past or upcoming decision in business, leadership, or impact. So pick one choice point that you're currently at about your impact and call that choice point and its energy. It might be, do I lead my team this way or that? Do I sell this offer or that? How do I market? Call on the energy of that choice point. Pick one choice point that's connected to your impact and bring it into the room. And just let that choice point land. And then as you're calling this choice point in, notice if your body has any response. Is there a feeling of excitement, of joy, of fear, of happiness? Does any part of your body light up or tingle or become alive or even shut down? So as you call in this decision that you're currently in or recently made, notice if your body has any response. And you're not trying to change anything or fix anything. Just really take a moment and notice what your body's response is. And I'll say that our bodies can respond in all sorts of ways to these decisions. When it doesn't necessarily make anything right or wrong, just let it be what it is. Now dive a little bit deeper into your body. Take 3 or 4 more breaths, and whatever the first instinct is, whatever the first feeling is in your body, take 3 deep breaths and see if you can feel for the emotion, the sensation, the feeling right underneath the top layer. And pause there. Okay, now as you pause on that deeper layer, really feel into that deeper layer. And ask that instinctual reactive place in you, that place that's experiencing joy or expansion or fear or excitement or terror or whatever it's experiencing. What would you choose in this situation? What does your body, what does your gut instinct want to decide in this situation? And I'll repeat that question. What does your body, what does your gut instinct want to decide in this situation? And just take a moment there and notice. And if it's helpful to write it down, write it down. Fantastic. Okay, now come back to me. That was a very short exercise. If you want to, you can always, rewind this and do this again. What it comes down to with the impact and the gut instinct piece is, if you fully trusted yourself and your instincts, what would you do? If you fully trusted yourself and your instincts, what would you do? And I will add a quick other thing here about this. Sometimes intuition can get tangled up with fear, and instinct gets mixed up with fear. And we can't get into all of that right now on this live. Oh, other people are commenting and I'm not seeing it, but that's okay. We can't get into all of that right now on this live stream. But notice what the instinct is. And then if you want more refinement, you could start to untangle instinct versus fear. If you get stuck, come work with me. Okay? So take a couple of deep breaths and come back to this space if you're still in your journey. So we went over the 3 key reasons why every time you try to make an impact, you fail. We did a very short 5-minute exercise to begin to work through it. And what's next? If you'd like to move forwards and create an impact, a legacy level impact, either within your own body of work or within corporate or even in your family system, I'm offering spiritual integration strategy sessions. There might be a link in the comments right now. If not, I will make sure that there is one right after this live. The spiritual integration strategy sessions are a sacred scavenger hunt for fragmented parts of your spirit. And what we're doing is we're going on a journey together to find out what is missing on the inside that you require for your next levels of leadership, legacy, and impact on the outside. So essentially, they're a shamanic journey where we journey to what you don't have on the inside, what soul parts are missing, lost, not present, that you need to make the impact you want on the outside. And within that single call, we call those parts in and reintegrate some of them. We're not going to get to everything on one call, reintegrate some of them so that you can make the impact with a lot less hustle, a lot less force, a lot less action, and a lot more alignment. During the call, we map out exactly what's going on and we strategize our next steps. You will need to take actions after the call, but it won't be 4,000 actions. It'll be like 2 or 3 actions. And you leave with a blueprint of exactly what to do, whether that's inside ongoing mentorship with me or on your own. So you could literally do this call with me and have what you need and be done. It's a private 90-minute Zoom call plus a recording. And I'll make sure to pop a link in the comments if it's not there already. I'm going to pause and see if there are any questions at this point. Okay, loves. If you would like to book that call, that link will be there. If you'd like to just get on my email list, head to my site and sign up for updates. Have an excellent day.